If you take even one federal student loan after July 1st, 2026, the government can legally extend your debt by a full decade, 10 extra years of payments, while your friends who borrowed before that date pay theirs off and move on with their lives. Same degree, same debt amount. 10 more years, just because of the date you borrowed. And here's what makes this actually scary. Millions of people are going to walk right into this without knowing it happened until it's too late, because nobody told them. Not their school, not their loan servicer, not the news. I'm telling you right now, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what changed, exactly who it hurts, and the specific moves you need to make before that July 1st clock hits zero. Stay with me, because Section 5 contains a trap that even financially smart people are falling into right now, and I don't want you to be one of them. Section 1. To understand why July 1st is such a hard deadline, we need to go back to the summer of 2025. Congress passed a sweeping piece of legislation called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Yes, that's its actual name, often shortened to OBBA. President Trump signed it, and it made the most expansive changes to the federal student loan program in decades. Not tweaks, not minor adjustments, a complete structural overhaul of how Americans borrow money for education and how they pay it back. Here's the crucial thing. The bill passed in 2025, but the changes don't fully activate until July 1st, 2026. That means right now, today, you are inside the final window where the old, more flexible rules still apply. This video is your warning. July 1st is your deadline. The law hits 3 groups hard: graduate and professional students, law school, med school, dental school, nursing, MBA, pharmacy, PhD, anyone pursuing a degree beyond a bachelor's, parents using Parent Plus loans to help finance their children's undergraduate education, and existing borrowers who might consolidate their loans or take out even one more federal loan after July 1st. And this third group is the one almost nobody is warning. Now that you know who this hits, let's talk about the first and biggest gut punch in this entire law, because one type of loan that millions of grad students have been relying on for decades just got completely wiped off the map, and that's coming up right now in Section 2. Let's start with the biggest structural change in the entire bill, the complete elimination of the Graduate Plus loan. Here's how it worked until now. Graduate and professional students could borrow up to the full cost of attendance at their school using federal loans. Law school costing $75,000 a year, borrow $75,000. Medical school running $60,000 a year for 4 years, borrow the full $240,000 in federal loans with income-driven repayment options and loan forgiveness programs attached. That is over. As of July 1st, 2026, Graduate Plus loans no longer exist for new borrowers. What replaces it? 2 new categories with hard caps. Graduate students, master's programs, PhDs, and similar, can now borrow a maximum of $20,500 per year with a lifetime cap of $100,000. Professional students, medicine, law, dentistry, veterinary, can borrow up to $50,000 per year with a maximum of $200,000. Now here's where it gets genuinely unfair. The Department of Education is still finalizing which programs count as professional. Right now, the list is expected to include MD, JD, and DDS programs. But nursing, public health, pharmacy? One attorney at Protect Borrowers told PBS News that nursing and public health programs are now classified as non-professional under this law. That means nursing students can only borrow half what a law student can, even though a nursing program can cost just as much. Read that again. A nurse, half the borrowing power, same cost. That's the law. The grandfathering rule: if you borrowed any federal loan before July 1st, 2026 and stay in the same program, you may keep the old rules for up to 3 years or until you finish your program. But switch programs, transfer schools, or take one new loan after July 1st, and the new rules own you. Now, the grad loan changes are brutal, but what's happening to parents might be even worse, because the loan that millions of families have used to bridge the gap between financial aid and actual tuition just got capped in a way that is going to shock a lot of households, and that's exactly what we're getting into right now in Section 3. Now let's talk about parents, because if you're helping put your child through college with federal loans, July 1st has a very direct message for you. Right now, Parent Plus loans let you borrow up to the full cost of attendance at your child's school. $40,000 a year? Borrow $40,000. $70,000 at a private university? Borrow $70,000. The ceiling was essentially whatever the school charged. Starting July 1st, 2026, that's capped. Hard. Parent Plus loans are now limited to $20,000 per year per child, lifetime maximum of $65,000 per student, total. The average cost of attendance at a private 4-year college is now over $55,000 per year. At that price, $20,000 in federal borrowing doesn't cover half of 1 year. It covers 1 semester and part of another. The rest has to come from savings, private loans, scholarships, or income. If you already took out a Parent Plus loan for your child before July 1st, 2026, and they stay in the same program, you're protected for up to 3 more years under the old rules. But any child starting college after July 1st, the cap applies immediately. Financial advisors are saying it clearly. If you have children approaching college age, plan around $20,000 per year in federal help, not unlimited, because unlimited is gone. Okay, so now you know what's changing for grad students and for parents, but here's the question everybody should be asking. When you actually have to start paying this money back, what does that look like under the new rules? Because Section 4 has a number in it that genuinely made people angry when it came out. A real dollar comparison that shows you exactly what this law costs you every single month. And you do not want to skip this next part, because Section 4 is where we get into the real numbers. This is the section that made people furious when the numbers came out, so pay close attention. Right now, federal student loan borrowers can choose from a full menu of repayment options, including multiple income-driven repayment plans where your monthly payment is tied to what you actually earn. Programs like SAVE, PAYE, and ICR. For borrowers in lower-paying fields, teachers, social workers, nurses, nonprofit employees, these plans meant a monthly payment of sometimes $0 or close to it while they got on their feet financially. Starting July 1st, 2026, for new loans, the menu is reduced to just 2 options. Option 1, the new standard plan, fixed monthly payments over 10 to 25 years depending on how much you owe, predictable but completely inflexible if your income drops. Option 2, the repayment assistance plan, RAP, the new income-driven option. Payments set between 1% and 10% of your adjusted gross income, minimum $10 a month if you earn under $10,000 a year. One genuinely good thing about RAP is it eliminates negative amortization, that nightmare scenario where your balance actually grows because your payments don't cover the interest. Under RAP, the government covers the interest gap and even pays down up to $50 of principal per on-time payment. Your balance won't explode. But here's the number that changes everything. Under the old income-driven plans, loan forgiveness happens after 20 to 25 years. Under RAP, forgiveness doesn't come until after 30 years, 5 to 10 extra years of payments. And here's what that actually costs in real dollars. The Institute for College Access and Success ran the math. A family of 4 earning the median U.S. household income of $81,000 would pay approximately $440 a month. Under RAP, under the Biden-era SAVE plan, which is being eliminated, that same family would have paid just $36 a month. $36 versus $440 per month for the same debt. That's the debt trap. That's why attorneys are using the phrase historic default rates. That's why over 1 in 4 federal student loan borrowers is already in default right now, and these changes are arriving on top of that crisis. Real quick, if this is the first video you've watched, hit subscribe right now. Between now and July 1st, I'm dropping detailed breakdowns, a loan calculator comparison video, and interviews with student loan attorneys. The stuff coming is going to be even more specific and actionable than this. You don't want to miss it. Now, the repayment changes are scary enough on their own, but Section 5 is the one that I personally think is the most dangerous part of this entire law, because it doesn't just affect new borrowers. It's a hidden trap that can reach back and grab people who already have loans right now, people who think they're safe, people who think the old rules still protect them, and they don't. And here's exactly why, which is what Section 5 is all about. Remember at the start I told you about a trap even financially smart people are falling into? This is it. Most people assume the new rules only affect new borrowers after July 1st. That's wrong. The new system also captures existing borrowers in very specific situations, and if you don't know the triggers, you can accidentally move yourself from the old, more favorable rules into the new, less favorable ones without even realizing it happened. Trigger 1. Loan consolidation. If you consolidate your existing federal loans after July 1st, 2026, you may be treated as a new borrower.
Your grandfathered repayment plan, your PAYE, your ICR, or IBR could vanish the moment you hit the consolidate button. If consolidation is something you're considering, do it before July 1st, or sit down with a student loan professional first. Trigger 2. Taking out even one new loan. This one is genuinely confusing, and almost nobody is talking about it. If you're a college senior and you take out your final loan disbursement in fall 2026 after July 1st, that single new loan may pull all of your older loans into the new repayment system. Every loan you've ever taken. Citizens Bank advisors have flagged this directly. If possible, finish your borrowing before July 1st to protect your repayment plan options. Trigger 3. The 2028 deadline. Even if your loans existed before July 1, 2026 and you're protected for now, PAYE and ICR are being phased out in mid-2028. If you're currently on one of those plans and do nothing, you'll be automatically transitioned. IBR, income-based repayment, is staying, so that's an option, but you need to actively make the move before 2028. This deadline doesn't care whether you remembered it. 3 triggers. Any one of them can change your financial picture for years. Know which ones apply to you. Now, there is one group of people watching this who might be thinking, okay, but I work in public service. I'm a teacher. I'm a government employee. I've been counting on public service loan forgiveness to wipe out my debt after 10 years. So does any of this affect me? And the answer is yes, because 2 things changed for PSLF borrowers, and Section 6 breaks both of them down right now. Section 6. If you work in public service and you're counting on PSLF to forgive your loans after 10 years, here's where things stand. PSLF was created by Congress, not the executive branch. The Trump administration cannot unilaterally end it, and the OBBA did not eliminate the program. If you're enrolled and making qualifying payments, keep going. But 2 things changed. First, effective July 1, 2026, the Department of Education will deny forgiveness to workers whose employers are flagged for certain disqualifying activities. The exact definition is still being litigated in courts. Monitor this closely. Second, and this one is a complete gut punch for some families, parents who take out Parent Plus loans under the new rules will no longer be eligible for PSLF. If you're a public school teacher or a government employee who is planning to use PSLF to eventually forgive your Parent Plus loans, that pathway is closing. That benefit is gone for new Parent Plus borrowers after July 1st. Okay, so you now know every major change in this law. You know what's happening to grad loans, parent loans, repayment plans, existing borrowers, and public service forgiveness, which means you are more prepared than the vast majority of people affected by this. But knowing the problem is only half the job, because the other half is knowing exactly what to do about it. And that is what Section 7 is, your complete action plan, step by step, based on your exact situation. So don't go anywhere, because Section 7 is your complete action plan starting right now. All right, here's exactly what you do based on your situation. You're a current undergrad student.
Your borrowing limits are mostly unchanged, but if you need a final loan disbursement, take it before July 1st. Log into studentaid.gov right now and check your total loan balance against the new $257,500 lifetime federal cap. You're starting graduate or professional school after July 1, 2026. Know your classification immediately, graduate or professional. That's the difference between a $100,000 and $200,000 lifetime limit. If the caps don't cover your program costs, research private loans, institutional aid, and scholarships now, before you enroll, not after. You're currently in a grad program and borrowed before July 1, 2026. Confirm your legacy provision with your financial aid office. Do not switch programs. Do not transfer schools without first calculating exactly what that does to your loan limits. You're a parent with a college student right now. If you've already borrowed a Parent Plus loan for this student before July 1, 2026, confirm your legacy protection. For younger children not yet in college, build your financial plan around $20,000 per year in federal help, not unlimited. That era is over. You have existing loans on an income-driven repayment plan. Do not consolidate without professional guidance. If you're on PAYE or ICR, plan your move to IBR before mid-2028. If you're considering RAP, run the full 30-year cost calculation first, not just the monthly payment. You work in public service. Stay in PSLF if you're eligible. Document every qualifying payment. Watch the court cases around employer eligibility. And if you're a parent borrower, understand that PSLF is no longer available for new Parent Plus loans. One action applies to everyone watching. Go to studentaid.gov today. Log in, pull your full loan history, know your balance, your repayment plan, and your forgiveness timeline, because the system is not going to remind you. It never does. I want to leave you with one image. Two people graduate the same program the same year with the same amount of debt. One borrowed in June 2026, one borrowed in September 2026. 10 years from now, the first person gets a forgiveness letter. The second person has 2 decades of payments still ahead of them. Same degree, same debt. 2 completely different financial lives, separated by a date. That's not a hypothetical. That's the law now. Share this video with someone who has student loans or a parent helping pay for college, or anyone about to start a graduate program. The information in this video is free. The consequences of not knowing it are not. I'll see you in the next one.